I noticed in the way you have a very firm hand in directing the band, as far as giving them signals that go into different passages.
Well, you take an 8-piece band and not direct them, and you'll have psychedelic music. We rehearse an average about 12 hours per song. Then the songs are learned in sections. There'll be the front part, the recognizable, like the girl on the front of the ship. That part, and then we have interlude A, interlude B, and certain cues that they have to remember for each song.
Yeah, I look upon them as movements, like movements in classical theater.
Well, we try and make each set that we do there one continuous piece of music, and that would include the dialogue between the songs. We like to think of what we do is that we get up there and play an opera for the people if they perceive it that way. Some of our sets run about an hour and a half and we get carried away. That's about opera length. And
well, even opera, I think, is an outdated term because it's describing one form of music, and really you're doing something completely new. I mean, you're using an old term because you have no other basis of reference.
Well, it's like people saying psychedelic music.
Right, that's what I mean. It's just a handle they can grab onto to describe it. But in reality, it's something. It doesn't really fit into the strict confines of, say, opera or psychedelic.
It's theater, actually.
Right.
It really is. We have a plan underway to open a show here this summer, a musical of the likes of which no one has ever seen, based on the Lenny Bruce trials. It's going to be a musical science fiction horror story. Now, you know anything about the life of Lenny Bruce, who is having to be a friend of mine and of our managers?
It's a funny thing. I don't know what. I got the album Who Killed Lenny Bruce, and
what's that?
On Capitol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually, it's a subsidiary called Probe. I've just heard bits of it, but I don't know why. But before you came out, I was thinking of asking you something about Lenny Bruce. I don't know,
Yeah.
why, but
Lenny, man. He was a saint. That guy really was. You know what he's been doing for the, maybe 5 years or so?
Yeah, I read the
since
book.
he really got into
it. I think it's a beautiful book.
I haven't read the book. Does it tell about his researches into the law and all that?
Yeah, to some extent, yeah.
He lived up the hill from us in Hollywood. With this guy that's helping to put together our PA system. And in fact, John found him when he was zonked. And he'd sit for 14 hours in his room typing up briefs on cases, man, researching constitutional law, trying to find out, what the facts really were and what you were entitled to do within the law. And I think that for anybody to devote 14 hours a day to anything, man, gives him, you ought to get a medal just for that. But he was really into it. He really loved the law, and wanted to see it work. I think it was what the big machine of America did to Lenny Bruce is pretty disgusting. And I think it ranks with civil rights as one of the big pimples on the face of American culture. But nobody will ever find out about it, really, I guess. Fuck 'em.
Well, to get back to one thing about the different movements or sections in the songs that you do, how did the medleys of songs from the 50s and that all come about?
What, the Ula Memories of Del Monte?
Because as a matter of fact, what you were saying about fulfilling a need, I think there really has been no other group that has sort of catered to the oldies fans, to really given them anything to listen to.
Yeah.
And I got an especially big kick out of that because I remember a lot of that music, when I was a child. And
let me tell you, to me, that is the only real folk music that Americans can look to. I mean, what they hear now as folk music, it's outside of field recordings. I mean, folk singers and that stuff. That's not folk music, man. That's somebody's interpretation of a song that they heard. That's baloney. You can still buy some of those records. Those records were songs, I mean, at their best, not the ones that were manufactured in some office here in town. You know, I got a song with these kids, get these pukers up here, make them record it. You know, okay, Bernie's got a girlfriend, her name is Wanda. Wanda is not going to go with him to the dance because his face broke out, but he loves Wanda, and he's going to write a song about it. And he and his buddies from the street get together and rehearse for 6 months.
They harmonized in the boys' room during recess at school.
Absolutely,
on street
man.
corners.
And that's folk music. And those words, I don't give a fuck how simple people, you know. Those words are terrible.
They're real.
But that's soul, man.
That's right. They're saying it the only way they know how, and you know, that's what got me about it, was, you know, sort of the simple honesty of them. And it's sort of amusing, some of them, to laugh at the naivety in a way, or smile at it, you know. But this is, you know, what these guys really, you know, the way they feel, the way they
But
think.
here's another way to perceive it. Man, there's so much tragedy in that music when you see that is naive, man. The way that those people were singing about their social sexual relationships with their idol, their girl thing, their strap gestalt.
Mm-hmm.
It's perverted. That you are seeing, like, all the music that was on those records from 1950 to 57 or 58 is just, it's a phenomenon, man. That is like a mirror held up to the society that had perverted that youth. You know, and all the parents, which in turn perverted that youth, to produce a folk product like that. That music tells where the kids were really at. And that's tragic, man. And if you want to do some motivational research, I mean, a lot of the things that I know about what an audience and what's going to happen in their heads and what's going to happen to their glands, you can learn from listening to those records, man. Just go to any place where they sell old junk records and grab a fistful and take them home and listen to them until your ears bleed, and you'll see. They tell you exactly where they're at. People always tell you where they're at. They always tell you where they want to be at, too, if you listen to that. If you can find some way to get them from where they are to where they want to be, you're fulfilling a need, a desperate need in the society. And those songs were all, in reality, they were just these outcries. Help me! Oh no, I really don't dig Wanda. She's a pig, but it's the best I can do. Oh, no, I can't help it if I've got pimples, you know?
Yeah. There's one thing that Jim said he had discussed with you, I don't know if you recall, was you sort of trace the evolution. This is from the male fashion, like from the khakis to the bell-bottoms of today.
Let's
Do
see.
you recall?
Well, you have to understand this differs.
Again, I think it's reflecting, you know, like some of the early songs. There were songs about Bermuda shorts, and sunglasses, sitting cooling on the coast where the most wearing sunglasses, sitting in
Tan
the shade,
shoes
sipping
with pink
lemonade.
shoelaces.
Right. They're, you know, reflecting teenage fashions, which, even though I think teenagers are more fashion conscious now, they don't seem to be, you know, fashion songs anymore.
Well, it's harder to make up songs about dirty Levi's and, you know...
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why they're not fashion songs. I'm sure maybe there are. Maybe they just don't play them on the radio.
Sure.
I don't think that the public ever really wanted those fashion songs, except during that period. You know, 10, 12 years ago, you wanted to go out on a date, and you had to punch out your father. I need the keys to the car, Pop. When do you want the car for you? He's drinking beer and he's still watching television, you know. And it was a hassle. They didn't want to let you out of the house. The teenagers were still trying to break away from their parental environment. Now, today in California, Papa needs the keys to the car. Which one, son? How much money do you need? You know, it's like that.
Yeah, I have to need
That's what it's gotten to, man. The kids got out of the house. Now that the fools, they got their freedom. They don't know what the fuck to do with it. They just don't realize that their parents never really had control of anything. The parents didn't have control of their own emotions or their own destiny, to say the least. Their parents didn't have anything. And the kids have got it by the balls, man. They could cripple this fucking country if they wanted to by not drinking Coca-Cola for 6 months.
Right.
And if they'd find out, man,